We start with a point.
Hi, it's Rob Bryanton, and welcome back to the Imagine the 10th Dimension video blog. And today we've got a couple of videos that are just going to be kind of playing as background here. They are both, we're going to be talking about them a little bit later on. So just something to give us something else rather than looking at me all the time. Today's entry is called Modern Shamans, and that's what we're talking about. Now, with the last blog entry that was connected to this one, it was called The Shaman. We talked about the idea that shamanism deals with hidden forces, spirit worlds, and seeing things the rest of us cannot. From there, we moved to Terence McKenna, one of a great many visionaries from the latter part of the 20th century who were interested in psychedelics as a way some have used for opening their minds up to those hidden patterns that create our reality. An idea that, for me, connects very much to trying to imagine how our reality could be shadows of extra-dimensional patterns and shapes. By the time some are calling Terence McKenna a modern shaman, it could be argued that we've moved beyond the proper definition of the word. Shamans, some people insist, are not part of the tribe. They're outcasts, who in modern times might be the ones who end up in a psychiatric hospital under surveillance. While McKenna may not have been a mainstream figure during his lifetime, I think it'd be stretching things to say that he was not part of the tribe. We talked in the same blog about the ongoing controversy over whether the Native American visionary Black Elk should be called a shaman, when medicine man is the more correct term within his culture. Shamans, modern shamans, techno-shamans, with all that in mind, please accept my apologies if you object to the use of the word shaman in the broader definition I'm playing with here. When I think of the phrase modern shaman, an interesting pair of words to search for in Google, by the way, I think of people who are blending modern viewpoints with ancient mysticism, sacred geometry with physics, spirituality with science. Another useful term that relates to all this is techno-shamanism. In the Wikipedia article on that word, we see this. Techno-shamanism is a term used to describe various methods of integrating modern technology into shamanic practice. See shamanism, they say in this entry. Methods of doing this include such diverse disciplines as synthetic drug use, modern psychotherapy, and raving. Techno-shamans generally embrace the view that mystical experiences are at least partially biological in nature. As such, they find the use of biological and mechanical means to influence and even induce mystical states and experiences perfectly acceptable. Techno-shamanism is strongly related to the modern primitive movement. Okay, now let's look at a few of the people I would call a modern shaman, using my admittedly very loose definition of the word. And here's where, if you're reading along in the blog entry version of this, you'll see these videos. But the first person we're talking about is Grant Morrison, who's this fellow here. Ever hear of author Grant Morrison, creator of the critically acclaimed graphic novel series The Invisibles? Here's an example of a successful creative individual who's completely willing to talk about the usefulness of psychoactive substances in his work. He has some very out there theories about the nature of reality, our relationship to the fifth dimension, how consciousness is participating in all of that, and how we are all connected together. Ideas that readers of my blog and my book will recognize as regular themes, but I have to admit to being completely unaware of Grant Morrison's work up to now. Clearly, Mr. Morrison and I have been exploring many of the same ideas, and I would now love to read some issues of The Invisibles. And someday, I'd love to hear his reaction to my original 11-minute animation. I warn you, the video that we're looking at here, if you do go see it following the link that we'll provide you with, it's laced with profanities, and he begins by announcing that he's drunk. But keep watching. I think this is a worthwhile video, as Grant has a unique and intellectually challenging point of view. Now, the other person that we're looking at here, his work is represented in this other window, Alex Gray. On the other hand, Alex Gray is someone I've known about for a while. His website is at alexgray.com. Alex is a New York artist whose work blends psychedelic imagery with archetypal images of the body and the spirit. Like Grant Morrison's ideas, Alex Gray's art portrays imagery that seems to be plugged into many of the same memes I've been exploring with my project. Multidimensional geometries, auras, chakras, and a spiritual viewpoint that embraces our connectedness are all themes found regularly in the art of Alex Gray. And the movie we're looking at from him is called Entheogen. If you go to entheogen.tv, you will see that Alex embraces the concept of technoshamanism, so he ties into all this discussion very deeply. The concept of sacred geometry comes up regularly in these discussions of the nature of reality and extra dimensions, but that's another blog for another day. So that's all for now. Next time we're going to talk about astrotometry. And from Imagining the 10th Dimension video blog, my name is Rob Bryanton. Enjoy the journey. Hi friends, just a reminder that you can now buy a 6 DVD set of my video blogs at 10thdimension.com/store.